What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and this is my review of the Google Nexus 10, the super high-res 10-inch tablet made by Samsung, and it comes to you direct from Google as part of their Nexus series of devices. Now if you want a bit more background information about the specs of this tablet, I've done a quick spec comparison of this with the iPad 4, so you can check that out right here. Anyway, do hit that thumbs up button and let's get straight into the Nexus 10 review. In terms of performance, you've got the dual-core ARM Cortex A15 CPU and the Mali T604 GPU and 2GB of RAM. Now what that means is it's on the higher end of specs of the tablets out there, and it performs really well. In my experience, I've not had any lag. It's very smooth and snappy, and things like browsing the web, watching videos, and even using demanding apps and 3D games has been absolutely fine. And this is very impressive considering the amount of pixels this is pushing out. And obviously that's one of the key features of this device, is the screen resolution. You've got a 10.055 inch screen at 2560 by 1600 pixels in resolution, and that's 300 pixels per inch. That's the highest resolution of any popular tablet out there right now, even higher than the iPad Retina. And you know what, it looks beautiful. I don't use that word often, but it looks absolutely beautiful. This is especially obvious when you've got things like text, no pixelation whatsoever, crisp, clean, clear text, and images and video look great. Especially images look absolutely great. The only sort of downside of this is with optimized content. Now, to take full advantage of this amazing screen, you need optimized content, and optimized apps and games on this device look amazing. But right now, there's not a huge deal of apps and games out there. One of the things Google is pushing for, I know, is to build this ecosystem and encourage developers to build more apps for tablets, optimized apps for tablets. So I'm pretty confident that you're going to be seeing more and more apps pretty soon on the Android market. One thing to note is full HD video is at 1920 by 1080 pixels. Now obviously pixel for pixel, that's actually smaller than what the resolution of this tablet is. So although videos will look great and possibly better than most of the devices out there, they could actually look better if you've got high resolution videos. In terms of the size, design and build of this tablet, obviously it's the more common tablet form factor of 10 inches, unlike the Nexus 7, which was 7 inches, the more compact format, which makes it competing directly with the iPad 4. And in terms of the thickness, it's only 8.9mm thick. That makes it 0.5mm thinner than the iPad 4, and it's also very light, 603 grams. That's about 50 grams lighter than the iPad 4. The build quality, I really like it. It's a very good build quality, I think. And the back, obviously you've got the plastic texture. Now this didn't look too good for me in terms of pictures and videos, but I really like it. Once you feel it, the material is very nice, got a nice texture to it, and it's got this tacky texture which lets you grip onto the device quite nicely. I know there's mixed reviews on it. I really like it. In terms of the edge and the bevel, very nice, fits nicely in the hand, and you've also got space for your thumbs, so you're not going to touch the screen when you're holding the device. And one key thing here as well is that you've got the front facing speakers, so the sound is very good on here. Traditionally tablets have speakers on the back, so this is going to give you a better experience in terms of sound. You've also got the removable back to add a smart cover. Currently no smart covers are available on the Play Store, but I'm sure they will be out later. Android Jelly Bean 4.2, obviously this has the latest version of Android, stock Android, which is a big advantage of this device. You're going to be getting updates directly from Android, no third-party updates required first, and that's one key advantage of this device. And I'm not going to go through all the features of Android 4.2, but just to give you a quick overview of some of the key features, you've got the pull-down trays, notification drop-down on the left-hand side, and quick settings on the right-hand side. Quick settings obviously very useful for things like brightness, Wi-Fi, and also switching user accounts. Now multi-user accounts, key feature on here as well. If you're going to be using this tablet as part of your family and you're going to have multiple users on it, very useful. If you've got games or two people using the same game on different accounts, you'll be able to save different progress levels, etc. on there. Very useful there. In terms of the buttons, you've got the back, home and multitasking buttons. In the middle, I would have preferred them on the left hand side so I could use my left hand thumb to kind of quickly get to them, but that's not a huge deal on there. You've got the gesture keyboard. Now you can swipe your finger on the keyboard to type as well as using the tap, so that's quite useful as well. Camera, you've got the camera features of Jelly Bean 4.2, so by tapping and holding you can switch the settings, and also you've got the panorama feature. Now this on a tablet, obviously not very practical. I've not found it very practical, but it's there if needed. Lock screen widgets. Before unlocking the device, you can switch to some quick widgets on here, such as your calendar. Obviously, I've not got any appointments coming up, but that's very useful as well. And you've also got Google Now, and that gives you cards of appointments where the flight information. I've not tried it out much myself, but it's very, very useful. Quickly touching on the camera, you've got front-facing camera, 1.9 megapixels, 720p HD, very useful for conference calling, etc. And the rear camera, I know it's arguable whether you've been using that much, but it's 5 megapixels with an LED flash, and that films 1080p HD. Battery life on this device is very, very good. You've got the 9000 milliamp lithium polymer battery, really good. It gives you a good bit of performance out of this device, and I've been using it for some time and I've not had to charge it since. And one of the disadvantages, I think, is that you've got no LED indicator in terms of the charging. Most of my other Android devices give you a red light or an orange light when the device is charging and give you a green LED light when it's charged, so that feedback is really useful. On here, you don't really have anything. I've not been able to see anything anyway. You've also got your micro HDMI out, which is very useful. You can connect this device directly to a larger screen, and the larger screen is probably not going to have the same resolution as this, but you've got that option there. Some things to note: you've got the Wi-Fi versions only right now, no mobile data version of this tablet right now, but I believe it should be coming soon, as it did with the Nexus 7. So if you do think mobile data is going to be important to you, it might be worth waiting a few months before you get this device. Personally, I just use my phone as a hotspot, so it's not a problem for me. In terms of storage, you've got the 16 and 32 gigabyte versions, no SD card expansion as it was with the Nexus 7. So if you are going to be storing a lot of information on the device itself, then 32 gigs might be advisable. Overall, I think this is a very good tablet, definitely one of the best on the market. The main negative has to be the lack of optimized content right now, but as I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to be improving with time. So that was my review of the Google Nexus 10. What are your views on it? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out. Why not subscribe to my channel? I've got plenty more videos coming. The Nexus 4 is also on order, so a review of that will be coming up too. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.